Okay, here we go. This is 2.1, adding and subtracting real numbers. I think this is going to be a really easy unit for you guys, especially if you use calculators. A lot of students kind of get tricked up with adding and subtracting negative integers. So unless you feel really, really confident with it, I really suggest that you use your calculator, if nothing else, to check your answers. Okay, so let's get started. It looks like we start with some pretty basic stuff here. So we have a positive 3 plus a positive 5. It's just going to be positive 8. All right, and now if we have a negative 3 plus a negative 5, I really want you guys to think about negatives as debts. If you owed somebody $3 and you owed somebody else $5, well, you'd be in debt total $8. So we could write that debt as a negative 8. Okay. And so let's think about if you had $3, but you owed somebody $5, okay, assuming you pay them back, or pay what you can, you're still going to be in the hole $2. So we can write that 2 as a negative number. Okay. Here's kind of the other end of that spectrum. If you owe somebody $3 and you have $5, if you pay them back, well, now you have $2. That would be a positive 2. Okay. I do like to try to avoid back-to-back signs here. So adding a negative is the same as subtracting. So you're going to get the same thing as if you do 3 minus 5. Not really an issue here, but when you get to back-to-back negatives, that will present a problem. But we'll get to that in the next video. All right. This next part, you might want to try on your own. If you want to do this, freehand you can, but definitely go ahead and check your answer with a calculator. Hopefully we're definitely developing our number sense, and we would recognize that if we have a 7.4 and we're adding a negative 9.5, the negative number is bigger, so our answer is going to be negative. And so let's say we type that in our calculator, we're going to get negative 2.1. Okay. Again, this would just be a calculator problem for you. You have your resources. You're going to have a phone on you, so you're going to have a calculator on it. So you might as well use your resources because you got them. This is going to be negative 2/5 plus 4/5. Again, the bigger of these two fractions is the 4/5, the positive one, right? So we should know that our answer is going to be positive. Okay. And we do this, we're going to get 2/5 positive. Okay. And now we're adding two different negatives, so we're going to have our answer is going to be more negative than both of these, I guess you could say. But again, if you take the time to just type this all out into your calculator, you're going to get negative 25 over 24. Okay. You could also type this in as negative 3/8 minus 2/3. Okay, because remember, adding a negative is the same as just subtracting. Okay. All right, I don't think you guys are going to have any problems with that. I really hope you don't. It's just really being proficient with your calculators. So let's review a couple of these grouping symbols that we learned last week, or at least reviewed last week. Let's do some absolute value bars. If we have negative 2 plus 6, okay, so just remember we need to solve inside the absolute value bars before we take the absolute value, because the absolute value bars are grouping symbols, and we know from GEMDAS we need to do that first, right? So negative 2 plus 6 is going to be positive 4, and the absolute value of positive 4 is positive 4, because absolute value is always positive. Okay, some students get confused and just they think it's the opposite. It's not, it's just always positive. Okay, so 3 plus a negative 11, and that's going to be negative 8, and the absolute value of negative 8 is positive 8. Okay, and with a square root symbol. This is also a grouping symbol, so we need to simplify underneath before we take this, the square root. So -5 plus 30 is going to be 25. And hopefully we know what the square root of 25 is, but if you didn't know that, you can use your calculator. Remember, you got to hit that second key and then the x squared button to get your secondary function. Type in 25 and you're going to press enter and get 5. Okay? All right, moving on. So why don't we take a moment here. I'm going to give you guys another one here to try. Here's 5/4 plus 5/6. You guys pause the video, try these ones, and we'll go over them in a second. Okay, so you should have gotten for this one -17.1. For this one, we could get an improper fraction of 25/12, or the mixed number of 2 and 1/12. Okay, and this one here, simplify inside here first, we get -5/21, and the absolute value of -5/21 is +5/21. Okay, hopefully you got those answers. Let's move on here. Commutative property and associative property. So we're going to write these out in variables first. So commutative property is basically saying the order doesn't matter with addition, right? Oops, that's bad A. There we go. So AB equals BA. So that just means it doesn't really matter with addition. The order does not matter. So let's show an example of that. If we have 2 plus 5, we're going to get the same answer as 5 plus 2, right? They're both equal to 7. Okay? So order doesn't matter, commutative property. And then for associative property, we're going to write out A plus B plus C is going to be the same thing as this. Okay, so basically what you do first, right? The grouping symbols tell you what you have to do first. Okay, so it doesn't matter if we add these two first and then C, we're going to get the same if we do B plus C and then add A. Okay, so let's show an example with some numbers here. We do 4 plus 2 plus 3, and same numbers over here. So if we have the grouping symbols over here, 4 plus 2 is 6. Drop down the 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. We get 9 here on this side. If we started over here, if the grouping symbols were with 2 and 3, we're going to do that first. 2 plus 3 is 5. Drop down the 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, so we get the same answer for both of these. So these are properties that apply to addition. They do not apply to subtraction, but I will get to that in the next video. I think you're going to watch both videos before you attempt any practice problems. So before you start anything, watch my next video.